Hey everyone, it is Miles here. Today is December 28th, 2017. That makes me officially 1 year and 6 months. So 18 months, 1.5 years on testosterone. And it has been quite the journey. I'm pretty excited with where I'm at right now as far as like my transition and how much has happened in the past year and a half. Um, a lot's been happening, uh, but it's mostly been me making my life better. So I didn't really know what was going to happen and where I was going to be. I just knew that it was time for me to be myself, and the hardest part was telling my super religious mother. And as if you've ever watched any of my videos, I might have mentioned her before. And at this point, a year and a half later, she still refuses to give me any pronouns or even call me a name. I'm just hun, and if there's a pronoun, it's hun. If there's a name, it's hun. I don't even get a name or pronouns, just hun. So that word is really bothersome to me now, and I hear it, and it really just instantly, don't. I'm just really sick of that fucking word, and I'm sick of the fact that my mom refuses to acknowledge me, and she still calls me her daughter and my old name when I'm not around, and then hun when I am. So I'm just like over time slowly coming to the understanding, even though I keep going back and forth, because like deep down in my heart I know for sure my mom will never change, and she's always going to be the way she is. So it's really like my choice to decide how I want to, you know, go from there. Like, my parents, I love them dearly, and they are there for me in other types of ways. They bailed me out a couple of times before, financially and stuff. So I'm grateful to like have that opportunity, or I mean have that availability. And I mean like I I know that they love me, and my dad, he's mostly just like an old crotchety man. He doesn't really care about my gender, but like he he's using they them pronouns for me instead of he she still, or he him. At least he's not using she though. So I guess it's an improvement. But like the last time when he said something they, I was like, he is easier, and he said not for me. So it kind of like makes me feel like he is willing to see me as kind of like a gender fuck, but not as a man. So like he's okay with using they, but not he him. So I don't know. I don't know if that's what it really is or whatever, but he's just like, gets upset and annoyed, and he, I don't know, but, my brother was in prison for a couple of years, a few years. I came out to him via a letter and sent it to him while he was locked up, and he was really cool and seemingly like really supportive. He just got out about a month ago, and I've seen him a few times. He has slipped up and continues to slip up, but I had a Thanksgiving ordeal where I brought my partner to meet my family, and they just kept on fucking up the entire time, and it was really humiliating, and it was really stressful for me, and it was not a good time at all. and I kind of like had a explosion at the dinner table and was like, nobody can fucking, gender me correctly, and like, what the fuck? And it was not good, and especially because my partner was me, my folks, and my siblings. But, after that, my brother came up to me. He's like, dude, sorry, I didn't realize that it bothers you so much, which I don't get it. But anyways, at least he came up to me and said that, and it was nice of him to say, he was like, I'll do my best to, like, be more aware. And so, like, I saw him the next time I saw him, he misgendered me, but he corrected himself right away, and I didn't have to say anything. So I guess that's an improvement. I'm trying not to be super agitated, but I feel like I just, like, at this point, I lash out. I lash out when it happens, and it's really not a good feeling at all, and I don't know. I gotta figure out what I'm gonna do with my mom, because she's never gonna change, and she's just too into her religion. So, but anyways, so that's going on. I, over the past year and a half, coming out, or not coming out, but starting T, I had started T about a month or something, maybe a little more or less, a month or something, a little more than a month, I think. I started testosterone, and I haven't actually ever really talked about this, but I was in a relationship with somebody who mostly was lesbian identified. And, I had been out for a while before this, but, this was starting testosterone. So, it would start to, like, physically change me, and the world would basically see us potentially and eventually as a straight couple once the testosterone started taking its effects. And I think that was kind of like the final wedge in our breaking up. And don't get me wrong, like, I love that woman, and I think she's really awesome. We are still friends, and we have dogs that we co-parent together, and we do really well. We don't fight, like, I love her. She's one of my best friends, and I appreciate her. And, but, that was just kind of like one of the final things where we just kind of decided that it was best to go our separate ways. And so, this was a little after a month of me starting T. My libido was increasing, and I was, trying to figure out things within myself and understand how to deal with living with testosterone coursing through my body at all the times. And, it's still something that I'm working on and learning. But, yeah, I feel like for my experience, my voice dropped really quickly. And then, like, now it's not dropping really as much. But I feel like my voice dropped and my facial hair has just been taking forever. I have noticed recently, like, I'm starting to get a lot more tummy hair, and I started to get some more chest hair. It's starting to come over my scars and things, which I guess I don't think you can really see it, but I'm almost a year post-op here in like a couple weeks, on January 16th. My chest and scars are looking really good. I can't tell how well you can see because of the lighting at this angle, but I'm a little over 3 months post-histo, and almost a year post-top surgery. So, those were some other things. But anyway, so my stomach and chest is getting hairier. I also noticed I'm starting to get hair that's coming up my hands, and that's something that's new that I've recently noticed. I'm noticing more muscle tone, and um, I'm getting some more like hair right here, but it's mostly just little spikes and stuff. I've yet to complete this part of my beard, and I still do not have anything near a normal amount of facial hair for most. I shouldn't say normal, because genetics, and some guys don't even get much facial hair at all. But I feel like for a 31-year-old man, I should have much more facial hair than I do. And it really like bothers me to tell people my age, because a lot of times people don't believe me. You just told somebody, one of my coworkers was like, "How old are you?" And I was like, 31, and then he started laughing, like thinking I was joking, and just kind of looked at me like, "What? No, this was lying." Like, people don't even believe me. And like, granted, I don't mind looking younger, but I don't want people to think, I'm like 18 years old. I'm a grown-ass man, like, I don't know. Everyone's always like, well, that will be a blessing. But somebody asked me if I was 16 years old, so that's like half my age, and that's too young for comfort. My hair, yep, that was a piece. My hair is just coming out, and I mean, it's still really thick, and every time I complain about it, people are like, your hair's so thick still, blah blah blah. But I mean, it's at least half the thickness it was when I started testosterone. um I noticed with the thinning though, my hair is much more curly now. It used to just be kind of wavy, but now like I'll get some massive curls. And it's easier to style now too, as being thinner, it's easier to like maneuver it and stuff. But I just really hope that I can at least keep my hair for 10 more years at least, because I really, really love my hair, and it's one of my favorite things about myself. So I hope that I don't continue to lose it, and hopefully it was just catching up, because it was like so thick. Like too thick. Now it's just like normal. So that's my hope. Um, let's see. I think my voice is really deep now, and I appreciate that. I'm finally like starting to get the range back up a little bit. Like, it still squeaks and stuff, but I feel like it is starting to allow me to do higher pitches again. Like, definitely not as high as pre-T, but I'm able to start like doing higher tones without it cracking. And so I think I'm starting to get my range to level out at least. So I'm excited about that. I think mostly at this point, the most things, besides like more body hair, maybe like slightly deeper voice, maybe like some continual growth downstairs. Besides those things, most things that are changing now are just like societally, and like within the world, and like socially and emotionally and whatnot. Um, I got 2 new jobs, and I out myself. One of the jobs, I am working as a behavioral therapist, and I work with children that have autism or are on the spectrum. And I'm a behavioral therapist, and I had to get like fingerprinted and do a background check, and like, get a state background check and stuff like that. Um, so I had to like tell them my old legal name, and I thought like, wow, I actually was able to send everything to corporate, and so like the people that I'm working with aren't even gonna know I'm trans. Like it's gonna be the first time in my life because I've lived in the same place. So like the first time in my life, I'm gonna be able to be stealth and like just be a dude. But no, I had to fucking out myself because something else and something else, and I feel like my job is now kind of like doing weird shit in regards to that, and I feel like people are talking when they shouldn't be talking. There's no proof, but like some of my other bosses were just saying like things that I was like, that's kind of coincidental, and I don't know about that. But anyways, the job's actually really cool, and I like it a lot, and I'm excited to be there. And the other job is just like a call center, customer service. It's kind of a nice little balance with my brain not having to do the same thing for so long, and also it's two different kind of like stress levels. So, um, yeah. Anyway, I've also been seeing a wonderful woman who I haven't really like ever talked about because of all the stuff that was going on with my ex, and um, I just was trying to be respectful and stuff. But at this point, things have been past long enough. We're good. Like um, I'm seeing this really awesome lady, and she is gone. She just finished school. She's studying for a big test and to be something. I'm not gonna go into her business, but basically she's studying for a big test, and she had to leave town here for 2 months, and I'm really been sad about it. I miss her a lot. It's been like a little over a week now, and I was able to actually get a plane ticket, so I get to go see her, and I'm really stoked about that. I can't wait. I get to see her in like 25 days, 26 days, and so I'm just counting the days down, and I got us a little Airbnb, meeting her folks, which I'm really nervous about. I'm sure it's gonna be just fine, but I just hope they like me, but also hope that there's no like awkward stuff in regards to me being trans and whatnot. So hopefully it's just all good and just easy, and I think it'll be fine. Like I'm really excited to be able to see her, and I really appreciate and love her, and she does like supports me in a way that no one ever has before. She affirms me in a way that I've never felt affirmed, and I'm so thankful that she came into my life. We're also, like we're not monogamous, and so it's really awesome to be able to have like that freedom because it makes me just be able to appreciate my love for her, and also doesn't make like monogamy makes people be like, oh well, oh, what's over there, the grass is always greener on the other side, like I'm trapped here, I'm stuck, that's the way that I guess it's not necessarily like how a lot of people look about it. They're glad to be with the person that they love and whatnot, but like you don't have to feel trapped down to like be that person's one and only. Like it relieves a lot of like stress and expectation, so it makes room for just love and care, and I just appreciate that. But anyways, I mean, I really am so stoked to be able to visit her. I love her very much, and she's one of the best women I've ever met. So I don't know. Anyway, that's pretty much what's been going on this last year and a half. Um, I was walking past these guys and they were talking about like gross stuff, but like, oh, I'm just another dude walking by, so they just keep talking about it, and I hear them say, you need yourself a red-headed something and blah 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 blah, and I am noticing more things like that. It's kind of gross. Like, it is gross. Granted, like, it's not like I don't talk about these things, like, sometimes with my friends, but it's also, like, context, and I'm not gonna let anybody else hear me, and I'm not gonna just do that in a public place, like, where or, like, where I work, because that's where I work, and those were other people that work in the building that were talking, like, come on, like, also have some respect for these people that you're talking about, too. I don't know, but it's just, like, lots of things like that. Bathrooms suck still, and still nerve-wracking. It's one of the hardest things, but bathrooms, my mom, is one of the hardest things dealing with it. I don't know. I'm starting to get like half a mustache. That's another new thing, and it's like coming in on this side, and there's like a few hairs, but it's enough to where you can see. But then there's like nothing on this side, so it looks really funny. And I also don't really like mustache for me. It's not something that I'm like, ooh, I can't wait to get a mustache. I would really wish that I could get a more full beard. And look, it's so. This side used to be stronger, but now this side's stronger. I wish that it would come in quicker, and I do think, like, if I shaved it and then it gave the illusion that it was thicker, because I know it's a myth that it doesn't actually do that, but it at least gives the illusion that it looks thicker. But I don't think I could wait for it to grow back, because it would take too long, and I would just be like, no, I shaved my beard off, and now, yeah, so I'm kind of just waiting. Oh, I have higher blood pressure, and so I might have to go on some meds, but I've also been, like, super broke within these last 5-6 months, and struggling because I just got these 2 jobs like a month and a half ago or something. So before that, I was super broke, and we were pretty much like living off really cheap food, like top ramen and nasty stuff that's not good for you. Macaroni and cheese, whatnot, blah blah. The story. So I'm hoping that a lot of it was just because my diet habits. Being so broke, I'm still pretty broke, but I'm at least eating a little bit better, so hopefully it'll be good. Um, and hopefully I won't have to take medicine or whatever. I'm kind of upset because I've been slacking off. I haven't been exercising. I started eating sugar again. I'm not doing that great in regards to like taking care of my body, but I'm also working like 2 jobs, working my ass off, not getting enough sleep, so I need to like reevaluate that, I suppose, and make sure that I'm taking care of myself and doing self-care. Just been really hectic, and I know that's not an excuse, but hey, whatever. I'm gonna do better. I know I can. I've done it plenty of times, so it's all good. Um, yeah, I don't know. I guess I'm excited for the next 6 months and being 2 years on T. Um, I think that'll be cool. And I think in the next 6 months, hopefully the next time that I update on that, my BP will be lower, and maybe I'll have a little more muscle. I don't know. Anyways, I guess this video has been long enough. I'm gonna take it off. This is Miles signing out. Peace.